There was a group of mums in the area that were fundraising once a year and asked me if I would like to help. And I looked at them and I said, what am I going to do? And once I started, I kind of didn't want to stop.
How do you fast forward to, Leppington Woman of the Year, Westfield Local Hero, how do we get a billboard of you in Leppington?
I won't stop until I get what I want.
Was that always the thing? Was that always Antoinette?
It was, but I didn't know until I started with the charity and I was like, I'm full on.
And do you feel like you found your passion?
I found my purpose. My husband nominated me for the Westfield's Local Hero Award. You get an email. So I was like, what are you doing? I don't want to be a local hero. Leave me alone. He's like, look at the grant. Oh my God, it's $20,000.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I'm not getting paid to do this. Yep. I don't want to get paid to do this. The reward is seeing people in the community getting support.
Yeah, with the pink ribbon last event, 2024.
Yeah.
So I like to think of it as a celebration coming together, and we actually dance in with our cancer warriors, oncology doctors, breast care nurses, volunteers. Like, we're here to party. We're here to party. Let's connect.
Guys, we're here today with a special guest. This lady is a bit of an incredible woman, a bit of a high performer, and a very influential person in our community. She's won 2024 Leppington Woman of the Year. She's won Westfield's Local Hero for Liverpool, 2024 Order of Liverpool Award. Upon other certificates, upon other achievements, upon other awards, founding director of Ladies Like to Lunch. Welcome, Antoinette Sulfaro.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I feel really relaxed.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's a relaxed
We like to keep people at ease. We like to keep people at ease on a Friday, keep it laid back.
Yes. So, take us back, Antoinette. Where did this all start from? Ladies Like to Lunch has become a bit of a recognised brand in the community, especially in the cancer world. So, how did it all start? Where did the idea come from? Where was the beginning?
Well, the beginning for me was in 2017. My sister-in-law, Maria, was diagnosed with GBM brain cancer. And that changed my world and my family's world forever. I never knew anything about brain cancer. I had seen cancer in my family, but that was, grandparents, so you're little, your parents kind of hide everything that's happening around you as well. So when that happened, it was terminal and she was given 6 weeks to live. So my brother-in-law and I cared for my sister-in-law at home. She had 3 little boys. They were 8, 10 and 12 at the time. And we got 9 months. So 9 months of extra memories, hugs and kisses that the boys got to spend with her.
Tell me, did you get signs of her cancer prior to the diagnosis?
No, not really. So it was more like personality started to change and she was exhausted, and then she was confused. I was actually away on a holiday, so I didn't know what was happening until I got back. And when we landed, my brother-in-law had called us and said, she's been rushed to hospital, something's not right. So everyone was down at the hospital wanting to get the results, and they were doing CT scans. There had to be a biopsy. They already knew, the hospital knew what it was, but you have to have the biopsy to say the name, to make sure it is what they're thinking. And it was GBM brain cancer.
Yeah. So the first signs of trouble was getting rushed to the hospital.
Personality changes.
Yeah, but nothing in terms of health-wise.
No, it was very sudden. It was very quick. Like the seizures started, but that was the day she got rushed to hospital.
Yeah.
And so immediately, went to hospital and all the tests started. But prior to that, she had gone to the GP, blood tests were normal, couldn't detect it.
What does that feel like for the family getting that diagnosis? The first time you're being told from the doctors, what does that feel like for you guys?
I can tell you, me watching a husband being told that his wife has terminal brain cancer, it's the most excruciating pain. You can't take it away. All you can do is support and whatever they need, be there for them. And that's what we all tried to do.
Did you, so at that point, you just sort of go into fight or flight mode, I guess, as a family, right? So, how did that change your world in particular?
Well, for me, I had to step up because I had my nephews, I had my sister-in-law who wasn't well, and I didn't want my brother-in-law to do this by himself. The hospital's advice was to go palliative care, 6 weeks.
No treatment, no
treatment.
operation, no nothing.
There's nothing that you can do. GBM is very aggressive. So when you go in and you debulk it, it doesn't like it. So it actually brings it out even more. So halfway through her journey, we were on palliative chemo and she was on steroids. And it started to shrink. So we got excited.
A bit of hope.
And we went back to the doctors and we did do the operation and it wasn't successful. So it actually grew 300% within 2 weeks.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And then how do you go from that decision to, because I understand that you looked after her for quite some time and came back home?
Yeah, so she was at home. My brother-in-law was the full-time carer. We were actually transitioning. So my husband and I, his business, were moving from one location to another. So I had to go back to work as well. So I was struggling with, I don't want to leave her. I want to be here with her. But it was just, when we got those results, you die.
Your whole world turns upside down. Yeah.
Because what about the kids? How are you going to tell the kids that, there's no more hope?
How did the kids take that news?
They were pretty good. We had so much support from family, friends and the community. There was counselling provided for all of us as well. And everyone did it in their own time. But we didn't hide anything from them. And I think that was the most important thing. My brother-in-law was absolutely adamant that the boys had to cry. Mm-hmm. They had to feel what was going on. And that we all did that.
And from a financial point of view, the average cost of a trauma event is about $150,000. How did you go about, taking care of her, but also, your brother-in-law? From a financial point of view, was there a GoFundMe?
There was a GoFundMe. So my brother-in-law had to quit his job. He was day and night nurse, okay? The GoFundMe was set up by a family member, which helped amazing. Sorry, I'm getting choked off because going back, thinking about it. But yeah, we had that all taken care of.
Yep.
There was always, and that's when you look back at it and you think, wow, there was miracles in this because there was people that actually stepped up and said, I'll do this for you. And my brother-in-law, he was like, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He needed the support. And so for me, I look up to him because, especially having an Italian background, you kind of don't want people in your face. And he didn't deny anybody from visiting her, wanting to help. Everybody was welcome.
Yeah.
And it taught me so much.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you opening up because it is a hard topic, and I know this is your first podcast, and being open and vulnerable. So, we really appreciate it. I think a lot of viewers out there know someone that's gone through it or has, passed away from it. And it is hard to bring back those memories. So thank you. But, now starting Ladies to Lunch, you're also helping others. And I think you mentioned that you're in the hospitals as well and helping people. How does that all work?
Yeah, well, I guess where did you go after?
Yeah.
Where did you go after? How did it sort of transition into?
So after my sister-in-law had passed, there was a group of mums in the area that were fundraising once a year. So they had heard my story and asked me if I would like to help. And I looked at them and I said, what am I going to do? How can I help? And once I started, I kind of didn't want to stop because it was only one event a year and I wanted to do things in between. So I was struggling not having her because I had lost, that role of being a carer. And to me, a carer
It's hands-on, right? Yeah.
you don't stop.
Yeah.
You're constantly multitasking and then all of a sudden there's silence. So for me, I wanted to continue helping other women. And when I was looking after my sister-in-law, I had this box that I would wheel around everywhere with us because she was in a wheelchair. So if we went into the bathroom, we'd take all those products in there. And then when I'd go shopping and I'd see those products, I'd start to cry because they would remind me of her.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought, well, what about if I put them all together and I hand these out to women who are going through cancer? And that's how the care packages started.
Love that. What's in the care package? Tell me.
So the care package, so the first thing I put in the care package was the alkaline water because that's what my sister-in-law was drinking. I think it was a friend said, you've got to put her on alkaline water. There's all these benefits to it. We hadn't heard of alkaline water before, and I had researched and looked it up, and I went, this is good. Alkaline makes sense. It's going to help her immune system, keep her hydrated. What else does it do? It's great for inflammation. So we stuck with that. We said, okay, yep, let's do that. But also what I've put in there is gentle hydrating skincare, because when you're going through chemo and radiation, your skin becomes really dry. And that was one thing with her when she was going through treatment. I didn't want the boys not to see their mum because you lose yourself when you're going through cancer. So she had lost her hair, her weight had dropped. So I wanted to keep her looking as much as mum as possible. But, she always drank a cup of tea, so I put tea in there. I've got a chili towel in there, which I didn't have when I was looking after her. So when you're going through the radiation, she would get these hot flushes, and I used to use paper towels from the hospital, and they'd only last like a minute, and then I have to throw them out. So I found this chili towel. I don't know if you've heard about it. Have you heard about a chili towel?
No.
So you can use it during menopause, use it at the gym, but it stays cold for about 4 to 6 hours. You just keep wetting it.
Yeah, wow.
And it's a long I love it. So I use it in the gym. But yeah, we've got a beautiful candle in there from Moon Tribe Candles. So she's a local candle maker. We put her travel tin candle in there. Sunscreen, all different types of.
And a lot of these companies have come on board to help sponsor, like even the bottles that we have now.
Yeah, so Alco Power. I have a habit of I'm quite annoying on social media, so I will tag you and keep tagging you until you respond to me.
Yeah.
So I tagged Alco Power for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And he came into my DMs. He goes, call me now. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm in trouble.
Finally, after
It was all in capital letters. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm in trouble. What have I done wrong? And he goes, why do you put your water in your care packages for? And I told him my story. And he goes, don't buy any more water. I'll give it to you.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah,
So that's the power of social media.
Yeah.
He wasn't liking my posts. He was watching them.
Yeah. Everyone's always watching.
And I
they
love
might not be
that.
liking that. They're always watching.
Yeah,
Always watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So now he continues to still support
Still
that.
continuing. So that started in 2022. And he can't do enough for us. He comes to our events. So last year he came and he gets into it. He helps with the prizes. He's just so much fun.
So what do these lunches involve? Like, how often are they? What do they involve? Who gets involved?
Okay, so our Pink Ribbon event is in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So that's in October. So
That's once a year, the big event?
Yeah, that's our signature event.
Yep.
So last year we had 420 guests and we opened it up to men.
Yeah.
So that was exciting.
Was that the first time
That was the
last
first
year?
time, yep. So normally we will have men, but they're counsellors or mayor or... but yeah, so women want to bring their partners along. Who are their carers? Their husbands, their son. They want them involved. So it's time now. Everybody's involved.
And that looked like an incredible event. You pulled the crazy thing off. It looked really, really cool for me. And a lot of people came together.
It was amazing. Like to have 420 people come together and say, we want to support your charity, your mission, what you're doing. That's everything to me.
Yeah.
And what is your mission?
My mission... Nobody should be alone when they're going through cancer. And no matter what you say you are, you're alone. You've got your family, you've got your friends, but you don't have someone else who's going through what you're going through. So I love connecting these women together. So with the hospital at the Liverpool Wellness Centre, all the women are there. So why not invite them to the event? Why not get them talking? You know, this year we're starting a breast cancer support group. So we've got 15 women. We met in December last month and it was so much fun. They're connecting, they're talking. You know, cancer doesn't have to be, oh, I've got cancer and this is, you know, this is really negative. They're actually sharing their journey. They're talking to one another. They're uplifting each other.
Yeah. Look, I've had to deal with clients claim for breast cancer, and fortunately we were able to help them on the financial side because they were able to have trauma insurance and they got paid out, so they could stop working for a year.
Yep.
They were able to cover their treatment. But what I'm finding now is I've had a couple of conversations, which is like 3-4 years after the event, and the mental health side of things has started to impact them, which I never saw because on social media and, you know, even seeing them in our review meetings, everything's been perfect. But it's now come where something's happened and it's just like, Ron, I'm struggling. Can we look at other options to claim on the insurance from the mental health side? Because a lot of that social media stuff is also masking what they're going through.
100%. And that's why when you're fundraising, you want to be adamant to share why you're fundraising. So what we do with our events, you're actually helping us support oncology massage, yoga, meditation, acupuncture, counselling, wig services. This is all provided to the cancer patient at no charge. And last year we started a cancer exercise program, that was funded for 12 weeks. So each cancer patient had a program personalised to them with an exercise physiologist, and they had 12 weeks of training dedicated to what they need, so their cancer. So for instance, my dad was actually part of that. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer last year, 72 years old. Because I'm not going to the gym. I'm like, you're going to the gym. His mental health, amazing, better than before he had cancer. He's just absolutely got this new look on life. He just went on a boat cruise with me. You know, it's changed his world. So when you get cancer, you know what? I understand it can be a negative, but it can also be a positive because what can I do? How can I change? How can I, you know, change my outlook in life? You know, how can I improve my mental health, my physical health? What am I eating?
I wanted to raise that actually around nutrition and water and things like that. The conversations you have with the doctor, do they give much information in the types of nutrition that a cancer patient should be having?
I don't believe they do. At the wellness centre, they've got nutritionists there, and you do have the option to go and speak to them. So there's dietitians there. But when my sister-in-law was diagnosed, no one gave us really a plan on what to eat. It was more we had to do the research, and that's what we did.
I think that's the issue too, is that there's so much misconstrued information out there that you're not entirely sure when you're in that fight or flight mode which direction to take.
Well, exactly. And we were given a lot of information and we did try things and things didn't work with her, so we eliminated them. So I think that's best. Look at all your options, try them, but I think you know what works for you.
Yeah.
Well.
And then, you know, the whole journey of going through cancer, obviously, you know, it's close to my heart because I had lost my father in a similar situation, you know, 10 weeks from diagnosis to him passing. And you just go into complete fight or flight mode. The whole family does. I'm Italian too. So we value, we cherish, we love our family.
And wasn't so long ago for you, was it?
Yeah. So it wasn't that long ago. And, you know, as you bring it up, it feels like yesterday. That's the crazy part about it. But you do everything you possibly can, you know, and you try and support. And a lot of the issue that I had with my father was around mindset, because one day he was really positive and was saying that he wanted to fight, and the next day was the complete opposite, where he was, you know, giving up. And we had to sort of constantly coach him through, you know. And what I want to know, like, what can we do differently? You know, what do you think needs to happen to change the space a bit?
It's a hard question because mindset, everyone's got a different mindset. Do you know what I mean? And you can only do so much to help somebody. It's up to them at the end of the day. But I think if you bring them enough information and you're a supportive family, friend, community. I think that's the key. Everybody getting together and helping that person. It's really difficult because they're going through their own personal journey. We don't know what they're going through.
And there's pushback and there's fight. And as someone having to, trying to help, getting that pushback, how much do you continue to try and help before you kind of go, you know what, I just need to give some space?
Well, the person's dealing with a lot of anger too, because why me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what they say is when someone goes through a cancer diagnosis, it's from an aggression point of view and anger point of view, it's the worst that they are, the worst period of time going through those feelings. And so they're dealing with that and also getting all these people trying to help, because as people, we naturally want to help, right?
Yeah, that's right. And when you're diagnosed with cancer, what's the first thing you do? You'll push everybody away because it's too much. I can't deal with it. But I find you have to let them go through those stages. So the first stage would be, for instance, shock, numbness, and then there's that anger, but it does pass. I do find that. And then that helps with their mindset, but they've got to get talking to other people. That's the key, talking to other people who are going through the same journey as them.
What would you suggest would be a few pointers to help support people that are going through navigating a difficult mindset when they've come across a traumatic, like let's say someone that's just been told they have cancer and they have X amount of months left or whatever it is. They go through different levels and stages. What would you suggest to the families and friends around them that would be the best way to support them?
It's really hard because you've got to be very gentle with them because you don't know how they're going to respond. Okay. And what's the first thing you do? How are you? I hate that question. How do you think I am? That's what most people will say.
Oh man,
How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Yeah, you'll never. He used to say, "You'll never understand, Ben." But every day I'd ask, how are you feeling today? Because every day was so up and down.
Because you're also getting a gauge for what do you say in response to that, or how do you help from that?
Well, that's it. Yeah, you're trying to work out what to do.
Well, there's no book on what do I say, how do I deal with this person? Do you know what I mean? But I think as long as you have a relationship with that person and you're not afraid of getting screamed at.
Okay, a lot.
You'll go back tomorrow and say, how are you today? So just keeping like a positive mind. There are going to be bad days, but there's going to be good days in this as well. And that's what you need to hold on to. There's little miracles in every situation.
How do you fast forward to, Leppington Woman of the Year, Westwood Local Hero, you know what I mean? Like what
the resume that's been compacted into a few years.
And how do we get a billboard of you in Leppington? That's what I want to push
on Camden Valley Way.
Our viewers need to...
right next to the BP over there.
Start a petition. We want a billboard in Leppington with her face. No, tell us, how do you go from this moment to then pushing on?
So, Leppington Woman of the Year, can I just tell you?
Just a little bit closer to the mic, sorry.
Oh, sorry. That was a massive shock to me. I actually got a telephone call from my local MP, Nathan Haggerty, called me on my mobile, and I didn't answer because I didn't have the number stored in my phone. I was actually with my dad. He was, we're at the hospital because he was getting ready for his procedure. And then I hate not answering phone calls, not returning calls. So I went back on my phone, I had a look, and I'm like, who is this number? Called the number, and it was Nathan. I was like, oh, what's going on? Why is my MP calling me? That's strange. And he goes, I've nominated you for Leppington Woman of the Year. And I was like, what? What is that? And he's like, you're actually the first person because it's a new electorate. And he goes, all the work that you've done in the past, and I had done with Cancer Council. I don't know if you've heard of their event. They do a STARS event, Dance for Cancer. So I had done that, which is 12 weeks of intense training, and you go and compete against other community members in the area. And I actually won the highest fundraiser, and I placed second and third for the dance and people's choices. And I was all over social media. So I think for that...
we'll put that in the reels, in the clips of the those dances, the winning performance.
But that's what got me Leppington Woman of the Year because I was on social media. I had all this support. I was fundraising, which I love to do. And, everyone was like, oh, why would you want to do that for? Well, I got Leventon Woman of the Year for it.
Yeah, that's great. And how important is social media for what you're doing and pushing?
Well, social media is the reason why we're able to showcase our events. In COVID, we were in lockdown, and I released the tickets on social media and we sold out in 2 hours.
Yeah, wow.
And that was crazy. I was in my pajamas.
Yeah, wow.
In my pajamas on social media, making little videos, little stories. And yeah, we sold out like that. It was crazy. But then the next year, 2023? Different year altogether. The tickets took so long to sell. And that's like a nightmare when you're trying to sell an event and you're panicking you're not going to sell tickets.
It's a worst nightmare.
It's a
Thinking
nightmare.
that you've got all these vendors, all these people that are involved in the process.
Yeah, but 2023 was a hard year. Everyone had to wait to see, what they were going to do in October because I'm trying to sell tickets in June, July.
Yeah.
So everyone was holding off. Then last year, 2024, I sold tickets straight off the bat. We sold out. But then there was a lot of people who didn't spend money at the event. So it was backwards. So I can't work it out.
You get there, I promise.
It's all a work in progress.
I'm going to my accountant, which is my husband. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He's like, inflation.
And how do you find, where do you find support? Like do you go to certain types of businesses, or are there some businesses that are forthcoming that always want to help your initiatives?
So I will always put a call out on social media, and that's how I will get businesses come in and want to support us. So for instance, I had done a post on our care packages, and I had Black Elk Espresso, which is a cafe at Carnes Hill.
Yep.
He didn't like the post, but he emailed me and he said, I want to help you. How do I buy these care packages? And I was like, okay, well, how many care packages do you want to buy? He goes, well, I actually want to invite 10 of your cancer warriors into our restaurant, and I want to feed them and I want to buy them a care package each.
Love that.
I was like, oh my goodness, really? You want to help me? He's like, absolutely. For doing that and showcasing it on social media, he then became our diamond sponsor in October.
Yeah.
So he helped me out that year, throughout the whole year.
So those care packages that you did talk about, if someone wants them, they can just go onto the website or?
Yep, you can go onto the website and purchase them. You can actually, if you're an individual and you want to purchase one for somebody, you can actually donate it to the Liverpool Wellness Centre.
Yeah.
So it will go straight to a cancer warrior directly. I actually now, because the care packages have become in such high demand, instead of me going around delivering them in Southwest Sydney, I actually hand them to the hospital now. They hand them out. So I've got oncology doctors handing them out. I've got Greg, who's the wellness manager there, him and his breast nurses. They're actually forming a connection now.
But for someone that just wants to buy one for someone, or just a business operating in the space that they might have a client or person that's diagnosed with cancer, they can just jump onto the website.
Jump straight onto the website. Yeah. You can purchase it. You can contact me directly if you don't have the money for it. That's the other thing too. I'll get people all the time message me on social media saying, I don't have the money. Can you give me a care package? And I'm like, absolutely. So I won't deny anybody of a care package. I've also had a great relationship with Ray White Carnes Hill. They're always donating care packages. So they'll buy like 10 at a time, they always checking in, have you got enough care packages? And that's amazing.
Yeah.
They're they come to all our events. They were our diamond sponsor last year. And I love that. I love that, they can see what we're doing and how it's benefiting the community.
How do we get more businesses involved? What can we do as a community, and especially for our platform on this podcast? We would like to support as much as we can. So how do we push it? Are there events coming up that you've got coming up? Tell us about that.
What's happening this year? What's next?
Okay, so I'm working on something at the moment. So the wellness centre's just been relocated in the hospital, and they've got this.
Is that Liverpool?
At Liverpool. Okay, so they've got this beautiful outdoor area, and they said, "Would you like to redesign this?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness, yes!"
Beautiful.
Because you do look out there, and it could be a great space.
Well, it's not a bad space to work with. There's a barbecue. They've already got some tables out there, but I'm thinking some gardening workshops.
That lady's touch. It needs that lady's touch.
Can we do Pilates out here? Could we do some yoga out here? Could we do barbecues out here? So I would love any landscaping businesses, who want to support me. I've already applied for some grants as well. So as soon as Greg mentioned that to me, I'm like, I'm on it. I'll get a grant or I'll get a business involved. But yeah, would love to showcase that. And for me, anyone that does support us, I always love to repay them back with social media. So I'll always acknowledge them, and I do find with our events too, people do recognise the businesses and they want to work with them also.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's nice to know because I love knowing that, they're helping us, but we're also helping them.
No,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but what were you going to say?
I was going to go into the Westfield's local hero. The Liverpool Westfield's local hero, because I know me and you sat down before then, and it was a few weeks before, and you were really not nervous, but you were really excited for whether or not it was going to come your way, but you were also happy because one of the other competitors was one of your friends, and you said if it wasn't for me, I'll still be happy. And there was just a lot of emotion behind it, and then you ended up winning. You ended up taking it out. So tell us about that. Tell us a journey about that. How did that come about?
And what is the Westfields Awards? So
the Westfields Local Heroes Award, so every Westfields has a local hero. So every year they provide a $20,000 grant to a community member. So you have to be nominated. And how it came about is, so come from, say, January, February, March. For me, I'm just filling out grants. I like to do all my grants then. And I was doing grants and I wasn't getting any grants. And I was so upset. So how it came about is my husband nominated me for the Westfields Local Hero Award. You get an email saying who nominated you. So I was like, what are you doing? I don't want to be a local hero. Leave me alone. He's like, look at the grant. And I'm like, oh my God, it's $20,000.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
So I looked at the application. I was like, oh, this is easy. This is an easy grant. I can fill this out.
Compared to what you've already done.
Compared to what I'm filling out, federal, state, council grants, club grants. And I went, okay, I'm prepared for this grant. I can do this. But at the same time, I've got a beautiful friend who has a not-for-profit charity. Her name is Jolene, Help You Cope. And I just went, okay, I'm not going to do this without her. I'm going to nominate her as well.
Ah, look at that.
So, and then we both got nominated. I was like, oh no, what have I done?
You got to fight it out.
Yeah.
But it was lots of fun, having her with me through this journey. We were competing against each other, asking people to vote, but I voted for her. She voted for me. We had that support, which is what you want.
Now, being involved in this as well and, dealing with the loss of your sister, have you found, women and, other friends that you're going to have for life and, the networking side of things?
Oh, absolutely. With the Friends for Life, I've met so many beautiful, so I call our cancer patients cancer warriors. That's what I used to call my sister-in-law, warrior. And I have beautiful relationships with them. We'll go for coffee. We're always checking in with each other. And the networking side of it, for me, I feel like that comes easy because I can talk to anybody. And I don't kind of like to go in there, I need this. I just like a conversation, and you kind of build from there. So for me, that's very important that people know what I'm doing. I will never ask for anything, but I'll always let you know. Do you know what I mean?
One question comes to mind, like why? Life after the passing of your beautiful sister, you have
sometimes we want to forget.
Yeah, you have the choice at this point to try and move on, right? Move past that sort of trauma that you've gone through, obviously being so hands-on with it. Like, why now are you on this mission?
Why not just forget about it?
Yeah, because most people have to go now and live with that and
just seeing you talk about it, you get emotional, but this is something that you will trigger you each time.
Yeah, it does. And the reason is because I don't want to stop talking about her. I want everyone to know how special she was because she was the most beautiful sister-in-law, the best mum, the best wife. And I absolutely loved our relationship together. And I can't go a day without doing something for somebody else because I know that's what she would want me to do. She would help anybody. If you asked her for anything, she's the first person that would help you.
Yeah.
And I love knowing that, I'm giving these care packages out in memory of her. So there's always a conversation about her.
Yeah.
It's been 7 years.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
7 years.
How are the kids now? Her kids?
Oh, they're beautiful. I love my nephews so much. They're
How old are they?
16, 18, and 20.
Nice.
And they all have, a bit of their mum in them. So you can see, they're so polite, their mannerisms. She's in them. She's there. She did such a wonderful job with these boys. And their father's been amazing as well. But I just, can't be prouder of them.
I think hats off to you.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
that answer was just beautiful.
Yeah, I think a congratulations is in order, but you've taken an opportunity, and I hate to call it an opportunity, right? But because it is so traumatic.
That's what I struggle with.
Yeah,
That's what I struggle with because
Was it harder to do at the start than it is now?
it was easier.
It was easier?
It was easier
Yep.
because I wasn't getting any recognition. So now I'm getting all this
Feel guilty?
recognition. I feel guilty
Yeah.
because she's not here.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this because she's not here.
But you're also making a huge impact, and I want you to
Yeah.
know that. What
No,
you're doing is important, and there needs to be people like you to step forward, although you don't want that recognition, which I understand.
I'm getting better at accepting it.
Yeah, you need to learn to accept it, right? That's the thing.
I'm getting better at accepting it.
Yeah, you're Leppington woman of the year.
And that recognition is only going to become more because off the back of that, you're going to get more recognition.
You should.
It's going to
After
reach
the Connect
bigger audience.
podcast,
Yeah.
this thing's gonna blow up.
Worldwide, baby. Worldwide.
We're going viral.
Miss Worldwide.
Antoinette, at the events, how many of the people attending the events, like let's say last year's one, there was 400 or over 400 people, how many people at that event would actually be dealing and working with their cancer?
Okay, so with our events, we always invite our cancer warriors. So we'll get a table of 12 that has been donated by the Mayor of Fairfield. So he'll always buy the table for the warriors and we invite them. So we don't want them to pay for the day.
Of course.
No.
But then we also have so many people that are coming to the event now. They want to speak about their cancer journey. They want to bring a friend. My friend's going through cancer. She needs to come to your event. So if I know you're bringing someone who is currently going through cancer, there'll be a care package waiting at their seat. Do you know what I mean? I want them to feel included. A lot of people also don't know about the Liverpool Wellness Centre and that, you can have these wellness programs available to you. So when they come to the event, they're learning about it and going, I didn't have that. Why didn't I have that?
Yeah.
No one's talking about it.
So far, is it only at Liverpool?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's only at Liverpool. I would like eventually,
Yeah. So their plan is, I guess, when we talk about what's next, expanding.
I would like to expand. I would like to expand because there's so much need in other areas.
And how can we help you, or how do you need to get into those doors to get into, say, Campbelltown or Camden or other hospitals?
You need a bigger team.
Yeah.
I need 10 of me.
Yeah. And if someone wants to, be part of the team, how do they help volunteer? How do they get engaged?
Go onto the website. You've got like a little form there and you can shoot me your details and I'm happy to have a conversation.
Yeah.
The more volunteers, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year I think we had close to 15 volunteers just on the day.
Yeah.
What's a typical volunteer do?
Well, it depends. So we've got volunteers that hand out care packages. So I will always hand out care packages in the community. So we'll go from Fairfield, Liverpool, Camden.
Are you going direct to house? Or
Direct to house.
Yeah,
That's how
right.
I started. So originally it was direct to house and it just became overwhelming because I was delivering care packages every day.
What's that experience like, going and meeting different stories, people?
Oh, it's always in tears. So
Yeah.
I was actually struggling at the start because I'd be in the car before I'd got to deliver the care package and I'd be crying because I'm holding my sister-in-law in my hands, but I can tell you the joy that a cancer patient receives when they get a care package, like they're overjoyed. It lightens up their day. They are so thankful. And for instance, when you're being nominated and I tell them who's nominated, they're like, oh my God, like it's just it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I love now that the oncology doctors are handing out care packages.
Yeah.
Because, when you go to your appointments, you don't feel that connection with your doctor always.
Yeah.
So it's like a little, icebreaker.
Yeah. That's nice. Beautiful.
And how did you get your foot in the door with Liverpool?
So with the care packages at our 2022 event. Okay, so we were selling care packages and we sold about 36 care packages. And the deal was I'm going to send them to the Liverpool Cancer Therapy Centre. And they wouldn't answer the call. They wouldn't return my phone calls, my messages. And this went on for about a good 3 months. But I just kept persisting, kept calling until somebody transferred me to the Liverpool Wellness Centre, and I spoke to Greg and he's like, come in, I want to have a chat to you. And I came in and he's like, who are you? He goes, you're exactly what I need.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to work together. And then that's how we started funding for the Wellness Centre.
Yeah.
It's like, absolutely, this is what I want to do.
So it's constantly pushing on your end to be able to just get that opportunity.
I'm a
to
ball
speak to
breaker.
someone.
Persistence.
Yeah.
I won't stop until I get what I want.
Was that always the thing? Was that always Antoinette?
It was, but I didn't know. I didn't realise that I was like that until I started with the charity, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm full on. I'm going all the way.
And do you feel like you found your passion?
I found my purpose.
I was going to say, when a person's in line with their purpose, it's the persistence just becomes, this is just what I have to do. I don't give a shit what people are going to think of me if I call you 50 times. I'm connected to this. I'm going to keep pushing this.
I can honestly say, I look at it now, your passion might be painting. This is different. This is my purpose. I can't tell you the feeling I get. I'm not getting paid to do this. Yep. I don't want to get paid to do this. The reward is just seeing people in the community getting support.
Of course, yeah. You were saying before at the luncheon events or at your yearly events, there's a lot of fun and there's a lot of laughter. Paint a picture of what the day looks like or what that event looks like.
Yeah, what the pink ribbon, last event, 2024.
Yeah.
So I like to think of it as a celebration coming together. It's a massive party. So we'll start off, we'll actually walk in when we open the doors. So everyone will come and sit down. And we'll open the doors like a wedding. And we actually dance in with our cancer warriors, oncology doctors, breast care nurses, volunteers. Like, we're here to party. We're here to party. So that's always beautiful to do that. And then we go into a cake cutting ceremony, and we cut the cake for our cancer warriors and for people who have passed. So we honour them. And last year I actually had Mr. Roses. Do you remember Mr. Roses online? No? You remember Only Roses?
I think so.
Only Roses.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So Mr. Roses got on board last year and actually donated all the warriors a beautiful single rose and beautiful teddy bears. So he gave me a whole box of teddy bears and beautiful roses for the tables. It was just, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't do more. He couldn't do enough for me. Like, the more he gave me, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Why can't everyone be like you?
When you said Mr. Rose, I thought of the guy whenever you used to go clubbing, he tried to sell you a rose and a teddy bear. Come on, man, I bought the rose.
But he'd do it in front of Mrs.
Yeah. To convince you to buy the rose. That's what I thought you were talking about. Obviously not the same guy.
Could be.
Could be.
He has a whole bunch of roses at the back.
We need to get that guy on the podcast. Anyway, so we went off. We do that sometimes. No, but tell me. So what are the people just so thankful to you on that night? Like, how awesome would that be to celebrate, to steer that to a celebration? They're obviously going through the toughest time in their life, but yet you're highlighting such a great moment for them. Like, that's a memory.
I think it changes their outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah, and them actually meeting other people who are going through the same journey. Yeah. And they get to go to the wellness centre. They're like, I want to be part of the wellness centre. I want oncology massage. I want to have acupuncture. Yeah. Sign me up.
It changes from feel sorry for you to a celebration of you, like you said.
100%. And we've got our mayor there, from Liverpool and Fairfield. We've got our state and federal MPs. Everyone's involved now, and it's great that they actually...
The Connect have to get involved next time.
Well, how many years has this been happening?
I've been on board since 2019.
2019. So now cracking on to 6 years.
Yeah. So you would have set it up, and then the first year would have been going through COVID period.
So when I joined, it was 2019. We had done an event, and then 2020 was it 2020? COVID. Yeah, there was no event. We came back with an event in 22. and that was like off the charts.
Yeah.
That was like ridiculous. You know, we looked at this event, it was happening, we could not control the women in the room. You know, they were just so they're full of life. Like, we're trying to run the event and they're on top of the chairs, they're taking the flower arrangements out, they're dancing because you couldn't, you could dance.
Oh, because you were so restricted.
You were so restricted. You were restricted. Yeah, so they were just like on fire.
Mr. Rose was there handing out roses.
He wasn't there that year.
Shout out to Mr. Rose.
Antoinette, how have you leveraged networking and building connections with your community and their community and so on and so forth to sort of build where Ladies Like to Lunch is today?
So I love networking. I used to work for Telstra back in the day, and networking was like, you had to network if you wanted to get corporate accounts. So talking to me it does come very natural. But I actually love energy off people. So I vibe off people through energy, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, explain that. It makes sense to us, but other people may not know. So what does that mean to you?
So I love talking to people because I love the energy that it gives me. It makes me feel, for instance, happy. Do you know what I mean? So the more people I talk to, the more people, you know, I love hearing about other people's stories. What do you do? You know, their journey. And I just find the more you be yourself and you talk to people what you're passionate about, they want to help you.
Yeah. I think when you came to our last Connect event, which was at Ben's.
Yes.
Yeah, you were a social butterfly. I think you were like, you walked in not knowing a lot of people in the room, but by the end of it.
I came by myself.
Yeah, and by the end of it, you had probably met half the, maybe more, nearly all the room.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not scared of, you know, like walking into a room and not knowing anybody. Do you know what I mean? I want to know people, you know? How can we connect? And I've always found that like easy.
And when you found your purpose, it becomes easier.
You don't even have to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
You know, she's that good of a connector that somehow her and my cousin have connected on a cruise.
Do you want to tell us that story?
No. I just got a video call with my cousin and then I just be like, hey.
See, that was energy.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was energy coming from somewhere.
Hey, do you know this person?
So
was that last week? So telling her to jump onto the podcast, but we had already booked her in.
Yeah, that's right.
See, so people know, they want to hear your story. They want you to get out there. It's only more recognition. It's only going to continue.
Sorry to switch off the subject, but is there any advice that, you know, obviously you must hear a lot of stories, all right? A lot of reasons, a lot of why, a lot of people, you know, suggesting different things about cancer itself, and cancer being such a powerful thing happening to many families. How do we prevent, and I know you're not in the doctor space and you have to be careful, I guess, how you answer this, but how do we stop cancer? Is there a way to do that? Do people have suggestions on certain things?
I don't think there's a way to stop cancer. Do you?
I think that there's misinformation being given, yes, without getting too controversial.
We've got the food, we've got environmental. How do you stop environmental?
You can make better choices around, yes, your nutrition.
But do you believe there's a drug to stop cancer, or do you believe stopping cancer, that there's a way?
I don't believe the treatment that they're doing is 100% correct. So chemo is quite aggressive when you go through that stage.
Do you think if they ever found a cure for cancer, they'd release it? Because, you know, we talked about it, it's costly.
Well, I know she's not going to answer that, but I will. I think that, no.
Go down the rabbit hole.
My answer is no. I don't think they ever would, because it's a business.
Make more money
it's
to
a business,
treat.
And I watched it become.
It's the number one.
Going through it in a short space, like I saw that there's many people involved, and unfortunately, when there's different people involved like that, they're being funded. It would, if you stopped cancer, it would cripple. It would cripple an industry.
I do believe that cancer treatment is getting better, especially in Australia. Like,
I agree.
Of the 5 clients that I've claimed on cancer for, they're all still alive. They've all made full recoveries, or some of them are still going through treatment. But just like, you know, your sister, they were told, you know, one was, or 2 were told within 10 weeks and another one 18 weeks, and they're still going. They said it could be at any time.
Yeah.
So I feel like medical advancement is getting better.
Treatments have gotten better, but I think people are actually making better choices. Like we're all exercising more. You know, we're very careful what we're putting, you know, in our mouth as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a hard question.
I guess
answer. It is hard to answer.
At the time, I felt that there wasn't a lot of information around that, like to go and, you know, get outside and, you know, we were talking COVID and around that time as well. I think that, you know, mainstream media missed the mark on that. You know,
but there's also too much information.
Yeah, well, if you can dive into a rabbit hole of that.
Because you could go on both sides of it.
Agreed.
You could tell me what you think. Like we could have 4 different opinions.
Yeah.
And if we go online, all 4 opinions are going to be justified.
Yep.
That's the challenge, right? Like, I guess for me, I'm in the health space, fitness space. I just want people to get healthy. You know, I want them to live a healthy, long
Well, you do have some clients that are going through it, right? And I've seen from the mental side and the physical side how you've helped them through it.
Yeah, that's why I guess I'm so passionate about it. That's why I asked why. You know, and I would often sit with those doctors and ask these questions because I really wanted to know the right information to give back to my people, to give to my father. Yeah. You know, so I was constantly quizzing a lot of them throughout that process. And a lot of heated arguments as well because I felt that the response wasn't clear. And a lot of them would either delegate or
pass the buck
or not answer with the right information. Like I need clear cut.
Or make you feel like
it's not. That's the problem.
Or
you have to do your own research when it comes to that. And I feel like I like to look at everything and then I pick and choose what works.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with my sister-in-law too.
Did you change anything?
We changed her diet. Obviously the alkaline water.
What in the diet did you do?
Did you notice the difference?
It's hard.
Did she have a bad diet before that? Sorry,
no, she didn't have a bad diet before that, but we cut out sugar. So that was the biggest thing, was the sugar. And, you know, she just drank water and she had protein with vegetables. And we did the same thing every day, protein, vegetables.
But you said you tried some stuff that, you know, potentially didn't work. With a short period of time that you've been told, how do you know?
Because of the side effects.
Okay.
So we didn't like the side effects.
Yeah.
So we just stopped that immediately.
Yeah. We pivoted to so many different things. Like, no, even in the conversation, but even in the treatments with my father, because we were running out of hope at one point. It was like, shit, we got to do whatever we got to do.
And because you don't have a long span of time, right? You've got to stop what you're doing. Like you said, do the research.
Yep. Rely
on the doctor. Hope that information you've collected versus do I challenge the doctor? Do I challenge what I've been told? Do I accept it? Because you also don't want to annoy the doctor, you know, just because they're dealing with your loved one. You want them to put as much passion and effort in as how you feel for that person. You don't want them to resent you.
No, but it's important too. If you're not happy with the outcome, go and see another doctor.
Yeah.
And we did that. We needed a second opinion.
Yeah.
I think we got three different opinions. And if that's what you need to do, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should always be asking questions.
Yeah.
The scary part is life and death. That's the reality of it. Like it's really, it smacks you right in the face.
And I will say, and look, I know you boys don't like me talking about when I bring my business into it, but I will say this. A lot of insurance policies do have something called best doctor's services attached to them. So if you are treated with an illness, you just get those medical reports and you give it to the insurance provider because they will do a second interpretation or second opinion. So you can get those reports. Anyone that's got insurance policy held with the leading insurers, they can do a second opinion and you get treated. You can have a look by the world's best doctors as well.
The world?
So it will go around the world. So to specialists. So if it's anything specific, like you mentioned for your sister was something that was very specific, just check your insurance policy because a lot of people don't know what insurances they're holding. And unfortunately, you know, insurances are one of the things that people forget about, but it can really help in circumstances like this.
Well, I guess we're trying to give the viewers, you know, something to have in terms of value. I think you talked a lot around, you know, exercise and living a healthy, balanced lifestyle. I think that's the key for most is that, you know, we should be getting out there and really get moving and get the blood flow, get the family involved, you know, because those memories is what I really enjoy. My father liked to play golf, you know, get him back on the golf course, things like that, you know, watch a movie together. You know, in those short moments that you have, you create some memories
Yeah.
You know,
and I think that's what the difference with your organisation is, because there are a lot of cancer organisations out there. I think you're bringing it back to not being alone. Continue. And I think that's
supporting.
great.
Yeah, bringing the community together.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
What's next, Antoinette?
Goodness gracious.
I think it got brought up earlier before. 2025. What do you want?
Are you going to beat last year's event?
Hey, yeah,
Are you gonna-
yeah.
yeah.
Well, last year's event looked beautiful. It looked amazing. Well done.
I do like to thank you. See, I do like to challenge myself. So last year we had 420. So I'm going to challenge myself to hit 500.
Yep,
I think we can do that.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
With the Connect support.
Where do you host the event? Where's the event
So
at?
it's always at Novella on the Park. So
Yeah.
at Abbotsbury.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay. Yeah.
John, do
nice.
you know John?
I know of Novella, yeah.
So he has transformed our events. He is so supportive, and we'll have meetings towards the end, and he'll just come in and change everything and make it better.
Yeah, nice.
So no, he's there on the day, and I can't see us going anywhere else.
Yeah.
And where can people reach you on socials if they want to, follow, keep up to date with when tickets are out?
So Ladies Like to Lunch, if you can follow that on socials, and we normally
Hopefully we can get it over here.
For the Spotify listeners,
For the
audio
Spotify
listeners,
listeners,
Ron just shoved his arm just across the camera to point at the bottom of the screen just so he can.
tickets are released about June, July.
Yeah.
Well, Antoinette, I think you're a bloody legend, I think you need a billboard in every suburb, in every town.
Not just Leppington.
Not just Leppington. We're
It's going to be MacArthur. Woman of MacArthur.
Pat did speak.
2025.
Pat spoke super highly of yourself, and we were looking forward to having you on the show because we do believe that you're making a huge impact in the community, and we want to support that as best we can. So hopefully, throughout our listeners that are wanting to jump on this journey, reach out please to us or to yourself, so we can keep pushing and doing the right thing.
And maybe if anyone knows any contacts to get Antoinette and Ladies Like to Lunch in other hospitals.
Yeah, whether it be the hospitals, how she got her foot into the door with Liverpool, whether it be to add to. Are you always looking to add to that care package?
Yeah, depending what it is. Like I'm very
selective of
what I put in there, and I with ingredients too.
Yeah.
You don't want to
definitely.
You don't want to put a sunscreen in there.
Yeah.
That's toxic.
Yeah.
Because, sunscreens. Sunscreens. Like you've got to be so picky what you're putting into your skin or onto your skin that's going into your bloodstream
What's
as well.
a good brand that you use?
So I love Hamilton. Hamilton. That's what we put in our care packages.
Do you find it doesn't spread very well because it's not like the normal ones?
No, it's
Okay.
no. It's
You're talking about the peanut butter.
No, I'm only asking because my wife Megan went on a bit of a rampage with sunscreen.
Yeah.
And the one that she purchased, I'm not sure of the brand actually. You can't, it's obviously got all this.
Thicker?
Oh, it's so thick.
Yeah.
Doesn't spread very well. This one's good.
This one's good. So
Hamilton, shout out to you. We're gonna get you on the show.
Yeah, going to be the next bottle.
I use it. So whatever's in the care package is what I use.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love
So
that.
I test everything out.
Good answer.
And if anyone wants those care packages, jump onto the website as well for anyone that you might know that's going through cancer treatment or might need a bit of help and support.
Well, in the interest of time, Pat normally wraps up the show with a beautiful
I'd love to
question.
hear. I want to hear this one.
I want to do yours for Pat to wrap
Before
up.
we go into my last question, did you want to take this anywhere else, Antoinette? Did you want to talk about anything else? Did you want
We
to?
covered a lot.
Yeah. Did you want to bring your page out and just double check if we covered off
Yeah,
everything?
so it's for the
Go
Spotify
connect, go
viewers,
connect,
I'm
go
holding
connect.
about 44 pages that I was given from Antoinette to speak of.
Look at her.
Of achievements. Well,
So she was super organised
Yeah.
here and in telling us what we need to say.
Yeah.
So
We actually thought she brought a printout for everyone. It was just her own notes.
a few of it were questions from us, but a lot of it were achievements as well.
yeah, I love it.
So,
man.
yeah.
I love the organisation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how Pat tries to save the guest.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You're the best.
Thinking,
Sorry, we're just going to pick on you the whole time.
No, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we covered
I've
it
written all over him. Anyway. That's good. I like the fact that you were organised. I love that. That's really cool.
For future guests as well.
Put this in the highlight before the episode.
All right. Well, we usually like to wrap it up. If you were to pick 3 guests to bring out to dinner, those 3 guests could be anyone from the history of humanity or in the current period. Now, who would those 3 guests be and why?
Well, I'd love to have one more meal with my sister-in-law. That I'd love to have that meaningful connection, that one more conversation. Mother Mary. I'd love to ask her for some guidance on how to deal with finding peace in grief. And I would probably pick my husband to go on a date with because...
Well, like back
No,
when-
present.
Yeah.
Did you say present?
Anyone.
Yeah,
anyone.
anytime. Yeah.
Him when you first met him,
Yeah.
or him when
Like,
now?
because you could go on a date with him now.
I'll go on a date with him now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't do it like we used to,
Yeah.
plan it because we're so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have no conversations of accounting or the charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably need to incorporate that into just because you're only going to get busier and busier. Having that time where you just switch off and not talk about it from
Exactly.
a mental health point of view
Yeah.
also helps you.
Well, I guess it's whatever works for the couple. 'Cause sometimes it's whatever.
Okay,
a
warrior.
blend, a nice blend.
Okay, warrior.
It's too hard to get dressed and, go to the restaurant and it's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it, Antoinette. No, lying. You're lying.
You do it easy.
Well, Antoinette, that was the first answer that actually gave me goosebumps.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm not even joking. It was a beautiful answer. And just to confirm, is this 3 dates, separate dates, or 3 dinner, or is this just all
Separate.
one together?
Separate.
Okay. Would you
Yeah.
still have those 3 at the table if it was one together?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And was religion big for you during that time? Like,
Go through stages because, you're angry. First you're praying, you're like, please, you'll do anything. And then the anger comes. But then you always go back to your faith. That's what I believe.
no, great.
Isn't that interesting?
Thank you. Well, right on time.
Well, Antoinette, thank you for coming on and taking us through your journey.
For having me.
No, it was an incredible
a great
conversation. Yeah, and well done to the incredible work you do for the community and for the cancer warriors and
Yeah.
the ripple effects you're
Appreciate
leaving
it.
out there in the community. Well done.
you.
Thank you for today.
Thanks for coming on board.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
So you have to look down the barrel and on 1, 2, 3 say, let's connect.
You got to
Ready?
point to the camera
Ready?
as well.
1, 2, 3.
Let's connect.
Yeah.
All right, baby.
We made this a free platform because we want to educate and add value to your business world. All we ask for as a payment is to hit the subscribe button and share it with people that you know would benefit from this conversation. If you want to elevate your connections, we'll see you at the next Connect MacArthur event.